Hey guys, it's Ro. Welcome to another Nerdy Nummies. I have been watching a lot of fantasy shows and movies that have these large mythical sea creatures. The giant octopus, the kraken in them. Just a few examples, Pirates of the Caribbean. Hydra's symbol looks like a kraken. In Game of Thrones, House Greyjoy, their house sigil is a kraken. So today we are going to be making a pie. And not just any pie, it's an octopus pie that I like to call Octo-Pie. Instead of octopus, it's octopi. Do you get it? Okay, it doesn't have any octopus in it. It's a berry pie, but the top we're gonna decorate it to look like an octopus. Release the kraken! The recipe that we're making today is a blueberry pie recipe, and the whole thing is dairy-free. The filling and the crust. The things you will need to make the crust will be 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 4 to 5 tablespoons of ice water, half a cup of butter-flavored Crisco, ice cold, half a cup of vegan butter, ice cold, half a teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Then for the filling, you will also need 1 cup of sugar, 8 cups of frozen blueberries, 6 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, some fresh lemon juice from this lemon right here, and half a cup of pineapple juice. Now let's put it all together. See, I'm an octopus. The first thing that we're gonna make is our crust because it's got to chill. Over here, I've got a food processor and our dry ingredients. We're gonna pour in our flour, sugar, and salt. Then we're just gonna put on the lid and mix it up for about 5 seconds. Now we are gonna add our butter-flavored Crisco and vegan butter. Pulse this until our dough becomes crumbly. Pour in our vanilla extract. Then I'm gonna continue pulsing while I'm adding my water. Keep adding until your dough starts to form. You don't want too much liquid, otherwise it becomes kind of tough. Now I'm going to take the dough and wrap it up in some plastic wrap and set it in the fridge to chill. It needs to sit for a minimum of 4 hours, but you can make this dough the day before and let it sit for a full 24 hours. That's okay too. While our dough is chilling, it's time to make our filling. Start with our pineapple juice. I'm just gonna eyeball it. I'm gonna pour half of it in there. Then our salt, flour, sugar, and half of our blueberries. We have 8 cups, so we're gonna need 4 cups of berries. Now we're gonna take our pan over to the stove. Turn the heat to medium and mix your filling till it's well combined. Then, stirring occasionally, allow the mixture to start to get juicy and you don't see any more flour or sugar. In a small bowl, mix together the rest of your pineapple juice and cornstarch together to make a slurry. Then, turn the heat up on your berries so that the mixture starts to boil. Once you see bubbles forming in the middle, add the cornstarch slurry to the berries. Mix until the juices thicken. Then turn off the flame and add the remaining frozen berries to your mixture. Mix together until well combined, and we're gonna finish with some fresh lemon juice. Take that fresh lemon, cut it in half, and squeeze the fresh juice into the mixture and mix it up. Our dough has chilled, and now we're gonna roll it out. We're gonna wanna roll it out a little bit larger than our pie pan, and with the excess scraps, we're gonna save those, hold on to them. We're gonna use those to decorate the top to look like our giant octopus. Take a pinch of flour, sprinkle a little bit down on top of our work surface so our dough doesn't stick. I'm using a weighted rolling pin because it gives me a little bit extra smoothness. Next is transferring it into the pan. I'm gonna use the rolling pin, roll the dough onto it, pick it up, and plop it in there. Bloop, just like that. Lift up the dough a little bit, press against all the edges. I'm just being very gentle so that the dough doesn't rip. Using a small sharp cutting knife, we're gonna cut off the excess crust all around the top. After cutting off the excess dough, I just used my thumb to smooth out the edges. And then I'm gonna pop this in the refrigerator to chill while we make our octopus. Time to decorate. We're gonna be making our octopus out of the leftover pie scraps, and I've got some tools over here, and I made this in Photoshop. I'll put a link down below if you want to download it and use this as a template, or if you want to make or design your own, feel free to do that as well. First thing that we're going to do is cut out our design. Once it's cut out, it looks like this. He's our little octopus brain. Look how cute. Hello. Now we're gonna roll out our excess dough. Just remember, when you're rolling it out, you wanna roll it out as large as your design. Take your template and place it on the top of the dough. Using the small sharp cutting knife, we're gonna cut out the outline. Once you've got your shape cut out, remove the excess dough. Now I'm gonna add some details with these fondant tools and decorative tips. I'm gonna start with the tips. I'm gonna make our octopus's face. I'm gonna cut out the eyes using a 1A tip, then using a smaller tip, make a half circle for his mouth. I'm gonna eyeball it, cut out these 4 details down here. I'm gonna alternate using a tip 10 and a tip 3. I'm using the small circle end to make the little suction cups. Ta-da! We finished our octopus design, and I've transferred it to a piece of parchment paper on top of a baking sheet because this makes it easier to move around and to bake. I'm gonna pop this in the refrigerator to chill while we bake our pie crust. Before we bake our pie crust, we are gonna fill it with beans to prevent the crust from falling in onto itself, so it will help hold its shape. These are the beans that I had around the kitchen. They're just some white beans. You can use any beans. The first thing that I'm gonna do is line my pie with 2 pieces of food-safe plastic wrap, one going horizontal and one going vertical. Pour in your beans and smooth them out. Fold in all sides of the plastic wrap. Just make sure none of it's gonna touch the glass. Now it's time to bake. Pop this in the oven at 375 degrees and bake for 20 minutes to get our pie started. Our pies come out of the oven. Now we're gonna bake our octopus design. Pop this in the oven at 375 degrees and bake for about 10 to 12 minutes. Our crust has baked. We've removed the beans. Now we're gonna add our delicious filling. This smells so good. My whole house smells like fresh blueberry jam or something. This is amazing. It's so hard for me not to eat all of this right now. I'm just gonna scoop it in with a spatula. Be careful. You don't wanna pour it all in your mouth. Then using the spatula, smooth it out a little bit. Time to put our pie back in the oven. We're gonna bake for a second time. Pop it in at 375 degrees and bake for about 20 to 25 minutes. Both my pie and my octopus design have baked and cooled. To transfer this design, I'm gonna be using a cake transfer. Scoop them on there. Time for the octopus to walk the plank. Here we go. Oh no, no, no. And oh my gosh. Ta-da! Here is the octopus or Kraken themed pie that we made today, or as I like to call it, an Octo-Pie. The recipe that we made today was a blueberry dairy-free recipe, so my sister can have a slice. I'll be posting the pictures and the recipe on RosannaPansino.com, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And if you guys make this pie, please take a picture and send it to me. I love seeing your baking creations. It just makes me happy. It makes my day. If you have any other ideas for any other nerdy nummies, leave me a comment down below and I will do my best to make it happen. All right, thanks again, you guys. Bye-bye. Now I'm gonna have a bite for me and I'm gonna see, is this crust as good as regular pie crust? Oh, that's good.